In 2020, my kids came home from spring break and they never went back to school. It was a really hard time. Trying to fill those days with something for my young two kids, oof. But it taught me a vital lesson. Spring break is actually a dress rehearsal for summer. Hello, my name is Jacob Pannell, and this is Faithful Fatherhood. Today, we're talking about how spring break is a lens to prepare you for summer, because who your kids are during spring break is probably very close to who they'll be during the doldrums and the boredom of summer. What most of us miss in spring break is the opportunity to get ahead. Instead, we fall into one of these kind of one of these three traps. The first is react mode, where dads figure out what each kid needs in July. And by then, summer has felt like a hostage situation and it's almost over. The second one is the one size plan, where we make the same plan for all the kids. Oldest kid's schedule, youngest kid's chaos, and nobody wins. The third is the survival mindset, where we're just trying to get to August with no growth, no meaning, just logistics. So instead of surviving, I want you to approach spring break like a field naturalist. And this works even if spring break is already over and you're just reflecting on what is going on. You can't manage what you haven't observed. Darwin didn't theorize about the Galapagos from a library. He went, watched, and took notes. And out of that came his On the Origin of Species. A naturalist arrives with questions and a notebook. They look for patterns in behavior. What triggers conflict and what triggers joy? Then they adjust the environment based on what they see, not what they assumed. So here's your field notes framework to do exactly that. Number one, read the body. What does each kid need physically to be okay? Is it sleep? Is it sensory input? Is it a lot of outside time? Some kids disintegrate without outside time. My oldest is one of these. He has to get out and play for hours every day, or he gets real mopey without it. But we live in the Southeast, so it gets hot by 10:30 or 11 a.m. So knowing that allows me to structure his outside time before the heat hits. So he's in the right physical space to interact well with his siblings later. Step two, read the mind. What does each kid need to grow through the summer? Is there a kid that needs a project right now, or maybe needs to catch up after a rough school year? My second was one that we had to catch up last summer, and she's done really well this school year because we caught her up. My oldest, on the other hand, needs a project. So this summer, we're breaking out Wheelock's Latin because he's excited to read the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. We're going to crawl through it really slow, but it gives him something to work on. It also helps me teach the other two, gives them an education in conjugation. And when that inevitable I'm bored moment hits, I get to ask him, have you done your Latin for today? It's actually a project that builds on itself. And that's how he knows it's succeeding. It's not a one-off. It's actually something that builds over time and is really challenging. The third step is to read the room. So you've read their body, you've read the mind, and now you're reading the interactions between your kids. You're looking at that sibling chemistry, the introvert and extrovert rhythms, and when the chaos peaks. For us, it's every day from about 4:45 to 5:15, provided I've done everything else great. So, for example, my middle child is an introvert who actually loves people, but she needs some girl time. While she loves her brothers, she needs play dates or time away with her aunt from the boys to recharge. So when I set those up, she doesn't need my oldest son's attention as much, which actually puts him in a better role. So that's kind of how they're starting to work together. When I've taken care of my older two, I win with my youngest, who is down to play with anything all the time. Now, if my oldest is doing Latin and my daughter's having introvert time, that's my chance to play Duplos or build Spider Man Legos with him. If our mornings aren't structured, our afternoons are destructive. But it all kind of fits together as different puzzle pieces. The key takeaway from my field notes is this: if our mornings aren't structured, our afternoons end up destructive, not just to me and my energy and annoyance with the volume level, but to each other. They pick, they fight. It's awful. The final thing I noticed this spring break is that this is truly might be one of the last years for us to be a young family. My older kids have their own friends, their own lives. The tight knit group we've been so far is shifting. I can look at that and try and hold on tighter, or I can recognize it is a beautiful part of growing up. And I get to lean in a little bit harder when they are home. They're actually becoming full versions of themselves that are worth knowing and loving. And that brings a whole lot of meaning to me as a parent. So, if you want to run this experiment yourself, there's a quick field notes checklist you can download at the bottom of this article on the Substack right below this video. It actually doesn't require any sort of email or anything like that. I just want to help you out. But I do want to ask you something before you go for that article, or maybe once you've already downloaded it. What did spring break reveal about your kid that you didn't expect? Let me know in the comments because I'm learning and I'd love to learn from you too. Thank you for your time. My name is Jacob Pannell, and this is Faithful Fatherhood.